Hello guys and welcome to another video. If you're new, my name is Andy. I am a family nurse practitioner. Today I came with my tea because y'all know I'm about to spill some tea. If you haven't seen the recipe for my tea, look in the archives of my video for the recipe of the tea. Did I just rap? Guys, do you think I should go into rap? Should I go into rap music? You think I'll make money? You think I'll be a good rapper? Please, so if it ain't on God, I don't want it. I have come to spill some tea. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about why some of you keep failing NCLEX. The last video that I made, I talked about the common errors you have to avoid when you're taking NCLEX. And I saw a lot of comments regarding I failed. And granted, some of them look like bots to me, or boats, whatever it is, those fake thing. But I think that there are people that are genuinely failing NCLEX and they don't know what to do. I thought today I should talk about the common reasons why people fail NCLEX. And you will keep failing if you don't fix these issues. I'm going to give you guys seven common reasons why you fail NCLEX. Let me sip my tea. Before I even go into the video, let me talk about this part because I think this is also very, very important. Just because you failed NCLEX once doesn't mean, or just because you failed NCLEX doesn't mean that you're going to be a terrible nurse or you're dumb or stupid or you don't know. No, absolutely. That is not what I'm talking about here. And if you know, I'm not about that life where you eat my money. No, I'm going to ensure that we nail this thing once and for all. If you find yourself not being able to nail it once, that's totally okay. There is no single job I have never seen or heard, okay, the righteous forsaken. But that's not what I wanted to say. I have never seen or heard someone get asked how many times they took NCLEX during a job interview. Never heard it before. You're not going to be asked, did you take NCLEX once or did you have to take it twice? Or did you pass at 75 questions or did you pass at 85? Did you pass at 108? Nobody asks that question. The main thing is you're certified. You're a board certified registered nurse, okay? So that is it. Nobody will ask you how many times you took NCLEX. So that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters, that irritates me, is the money you're going to pay again to take it. But again, this is why we are having this video today, so that you can avoid these things. And my number one reason why people fail NCLEX is comparing themselves to others. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Somebody's life is cut out, or somebody's path is cut out for that person. You are not that person. You are not Susie. You ain't gonna be Susie. You ain't gonna ever be Susie. Do not compare your journey with somebody else's journey. Do not compare your path with someone else's path. Do not compare yourself with someone else. You know your life, you know the goals that you've set for yourself. So what you will do is walk according to your goals. Do not try to follow somebody else's path. Just because Susie is taking her NCLEX in the next 2 weeks doesn't mean that you should take your NCLEX in 2 weeks. People are shocked when someone that was always making A's in school actually fails NCLEX, because sometimes they try to apply the same study tips or the same study style they had in nursing school to NCLEX, and it doesn't work like that. In nursing school, you can cram things. In NCLEX, you cannot. So that's why you should always know yourself for you. Know your capabilities. Know the things that you can handle. Know the amount of content. Know the amount of hours of studying you can put in a day. Do not try to compare yourself with another person and try to copy that person and try to do what that person is doing. If you do that, you might cause yourself more harm than good. You might fail. So carve your own path for yourself. Capish? Okay. Number two is stamina, strength, okay? You lack the stamina for NCLEX. With NCLEX, you have to build up your strength. It's like someone that runs a marathon. They train for the marathon. They start slowly and they build themselves up. NCLEX is just like that. NCLEX has a number of questions you have to take. You have to train yourself so that you're not fatigued towards that number. Some people do 75 questions a day, 40 questions a day. Whatever you're studying, make sure that you're slowly building yourself up to the maximum number of NCLEX questions a day. Don't build yourself, don't have this idea in your mind of what number of questions you're going to be cut off. Go there with an open mind, with your strength. Build up your strength. Study, study, study. The Bible says study to show yourself approved. I don't know why Bible verses just coming to my head, but I'm pretty sure it's for someone, okay? The Bible says study to show yourself approved. So if you're not studying, then you cannot prove yourself. So if you're going to go take NCLEX, then you have to study well. You have to build up your stamina. You have to build up your strength to where they want you to be. So studying, maybe you start at 40 questions a day to 50 to 75 to 150 questions a day. Build your stamina up so that you do not get fatigued with NCLEX questions. Number 3 is excuses. This one I have to be very careful because I know that there are people that genuinely go through things, right? But you just have to have it in the back of your mind that everybody goes through tough times, one way or another. Unfortunately, yours might be at a time that you're trying to take your board exams. I remember when I was in nursing school, when we were like about to finish, we were doing our exit exams and everything, and one of my classmates, his child went to Ocean City. He was a high school kid. They finished high school. We were finishing around like summertime towards end of school. So the child went to Ocean City with their friends, and this boy ended up drowning. All I could think of was how, like, why? Imagine going through something like that and trying to take your board. There's no way that person will have the right mindset, the preparation, the stamina, and all of that to take it when they just lost their child. That is a very solid, serious excuse to make. And it's a very tough place to be. That is where you now have to ask God for strength, because honestly, the Lord has to be your strength there. Okay? The Bible says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. It's only Christ that can strengthen you in such situation. On the other hand, there are people that make excuses. Oh my God, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. At the end of the day, you have to decide on your own. You have to make up your mind that this is what you want. Do you want it or not? Do you want it or not? Because if you do, then you have to make up your mind that this is what you want and you go for it. Nobody's going to push you to do it. I mean, you can have family members that's going to encourage you, but they're not going to take it for you. Okay? There's a saying that says you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink. At the end of the day, the horse has to open its mouth and take in the water by itself. So if somebody can push you, somebody can encourage you, but at the end of the day, ultimately, it's going to be your choice. So stop making unnecessarily excuses. And I honestly acknowledge that there are people that do go through serious things and they need to take a break. Other than that, make up your mind and just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Number 4. This one is important. Content. You do not know the content. You lack knowledge of the content. Remember I said in my previous video that NCLEX will test you on how you apply the knowledge that you know, how you analyze situations. But if you don't know the content, you will not know how to apply it. Now, NCLEX separates people that crams versus people that know the content, because they're not going to come directly and ask you, what is this? They will give you a scenario. And based on the knowledge you have, you're going to analyze that scenario and apply your knowledge. And then from there, you get the right answer. But if you don't know the content itself, there is no application. There will be no analyzing, because you won't even, like, what can I say? So with NCLEX, you actually have to know the content. You will fail NCLEX if you do not take the time to study the content and understand it. There's a difference between knowing and understanding. I can have a knowledge of something, but I really don't understand that thing. Okay? I can have a knowledge of the heart, but I really don't understand the function of the heart, how the blood flows in the heart from the right ventricles to the left ventricles and all of that. Okay, let me put it this way. I might know what a blood pressure is, right? But how does that mechanism work? How does the heart do that job to where the blood pressure sometimes might be too high? What is making it high versus what is normal? Why is it high versus normal? So that is now knowing the content itself. I might know what a normal blood pressure is. Yeah, a normal blood pressure is. But what makes it abnormal? Now that's applying your knowledge. Now that's knowing the content itself. That's just not me cramming the number, what is normal and what is abnormal. Now that's me knowing the reason why this is normal. What makes it normal? What makes it abnormal? When my heart is doing too much work trying to pump that blood, is going against pressure, which pushes that number up. Okay? Versus, oh, this is just, oh, my blood pressure should be this. And that's it. But why is it now high? I don't know. I just know that my blood pressure should not be high and it should be this. What is happening to your heart? What is making your blood pressure high? Hopefully that's a good example. Number 5, not understanding the question before answering. Some people fail NCLEX because they don't really take the time to read that question, understand it before answering the question. They rush too much. They see something that looks familiar and they rush. You want to take your time to read that question and understand what that question is actually asking you. I'm telling you, this has happened to me several times where I read something, boom, I'm already thinking of what the answer is. But by the time I read that question again, I'm trying to see, okay, what are they asking exactly? I'm like, oh my God, I would have totally failed that if I did not take the time to analyze it. Again, going back to analysis, to understand that question and analyze it before I answer. So do not rush to pick your answer. Make sure that when you read a question, try to figure out what they want from you before you answer, before you pick your answer. Because if you rush too much, okay, a word is enough for the wise. Number 6 is good. Let me sip my tea. Number 6 is for all my people out there that have already failed. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're going to fail again. And this is something that a lot of people go through. Because guess what? The battle is in your mind. You have to win the battle in your mind first, okay? So if you think that you failed, therefore you're going to fail again, you've already failed. You've already failed. But if you failed and you pick yourself up and say, you know what? I may have failed, but guess what? I'm going to dust myself up. I'm going to hit this book again, and we going to make it this time. There's no way these people are taking my money again. I'm about that money. Okay? Guess what? Half of the battle is already won. Because once you make up your mind to do it, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay? So just because you failed before doesn't mean that you're going to fail again. It just means that you need to reevaluate yourself. The NCLEX always gives you a report, like a summary of your test, and you can see the parts that you were weak at, and go build those parts up and go back and hit them like they've never been hit before. You hear me? Beat them up like push, 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 push. I got you. Number 7, my final reason for you failing NCLEX is lack of preparation. I know that there are some of you that will say, that's not true. I study 20 hours a day. First of all, that's just too much. I was prepared and then I fell. I'm tired. I see some people say, oh my goodness, I've taken this thing like how many I'm so excited. Stop it. Stop it and go and prepare. Go and look at what you did wrong. To be honest, most people that fail, let's just call it spade a spade. You weren't prepared enough. It's like my teenage son. I don't know why I still feel like there's something in my glasses. It's like my teenage son that wants to take exams and you're not prepared. You have exams on your phone, and like, what do you think this is? You think this is a joke? They know you? No. And then you go there, you don't do well in the exams and you're surprised. Excuse me, why are we surprised? Why are we surprised? You know that you weren't prepared enough. So you were expecting miracle. Because me, I don't understand. That's life. That's the reality. If you do not prepare yourself, then there's, what can I say? You might fail. Before you go take your exams, you want to make sure that you carve out study time. You have to have a calendar. If you're lucky to have a study group, perfect. I always say study on your own and then study in a group. People study well differently. My husband studies well by himself. He does better by himself. He feels like people are distracting him. So there are people that study by themselves, and then when you see people, it's just to bounce off ideas, like throw out questions at each other. And there are people that study well with others because it just, boosts their confidence. So just find out who you are, you know. So if you study by yourself and then maybe you meet with some friends or classmates and study with them again, make sure you have a schedule of your study time. And when your study time comes, let everybody know, let every man know that you are studying. Everybody in the family has to be supportive. If you are married with children, husband has to know, children has to know. From 12 to 2, mommy or dad is studying. Um, if you're able to do it while they're at school, that's even perfect. But if not, if you, because most of us, let's be honest, we gotta work, gotta make some money. So if you have to work and everybody comes back in the evening, then you just have to cover your study time. Sometimes it's a sacrifice. You're gonna have to do it when the kids are asleep. Just look around, look in your schedule, make a calendar. Like, you cannot escape it. You cannot wing it. You cannot wing NCLEX. Okay, so make sure that you're completely prepared before you go take it. Okay, and I wish you good luck. Okay, showing some love, and when you pass, don't forget to come back to this video and say, hey, I made it.